You're at a difficult age. Neither child nor man. I don't know what to do with you. Your father died when we needed him mostly.
He was not my father.
What you mean?
That he wasn't my father. I hated him. And I'm glad he's dead.
Sebastian!
He was with a whore the night he died.
Shut up!
He was with a whore. All women are whores.
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
This sandwich tastes as dry as hell.
L-O-L-L-I-P-O-P spells lollipop.
Why don't you just go hand out parking tickets and leave me alone? Stick to something you know about.
Listen, my daughter was about your age. Then she met a guy like you. Now she's dead.
You should believe in ghosts, P-Brain.
He's a closet! Don't hurt me, please! Don't keep me waiting for those onions, Hermit!
This is all the whiskey you possess?
Everyone out of the way of the bulldozer!
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doom Show. I am Richard.
I am Brad.
Folks, we are here to celebrate good times. Come on. It's episode 250.
Thank you.
Yes. Don't hold your applause. So Brad, I'm going to make a little song of the next few things we say. Just go ahead and say something, and I will sample it, and I'll make it part of the song. So whatever you say, go for it.
Okay, most other people who have a podcast and get to episode 250 have done it in 5 years.
Yes. Can I get a whoop whoop?
Whoop whoop. Okay. Most other people who have a podcast can get to episode 250
have done it in 5 years.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Okay. Most other people who have a podcast can get to episode 250
have done it in 5 years.
Can I get a whoop whoop?
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. This is the show that people are going to come back to and say, 250? Whoa.
It took them 15 years, but they did it.
Only 11. Come on.
Not mad at all.
No, dude, it's freaking hilarious. I would have forgotten it if you hadn't have said something, because I was like, you're like, what number was this episode? I was like, oh, 240 something. You're like, what about episode 250? And I was like, hold up. If we're doing episode 250, let's pick a movie you don't want to watch or talk about. Let's do this.
No, that's not true at all. I agreed to Stigma. It's easy for me to be excited once a year and be like, yeah, dude, I'm going to be on so many shows this year.
Hell yeah.
And then I don't answer your messages. No, I was listening to one of your solo shows that I very much enjoyed. And yay. I thought, I was on Podomatic. And I thought, I wonder if he's recorded episode 250 yet.
Nope.
So yeah, I've made a list of people that I want to shout out whenever we find that to be appropriate.
Yeah. We'll make them wait. We'll make them wait for that shit.
Yeah. Will they hear their name? We don't know.
Or will there be a big, long, months-long pause while I gather together my list and try to remember to thank more people? Because I felt so bad when we did the 10-year anniversary show. There were so many people I forgot, and I was like, oh, God, I suck.
Now, my list is short, so I'm sure there's plenty of people that I'm forgetting.
But folks, tonight's film is from our pal, Jose Ramon Larraz. And, we talked about him like on episode 2 or something.
Yeah, Symptoms we did pretty early.
Whew.
It was before it had a Blu-ray.
And weirdly enough, after all these years, I have been purposefully or unpurposefully avoiding some of his movies to kind of like give myself that surprise. So like, The House That Vanished, I've still never seen it.
Ooh, I like that one.
Deviation, I've still never seen that one.
I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
Whirlpool, I've still never seen that.
I liked Whirlpool. There's Tim Lucas commentary that was rather good.
Yeah.
For Whirlpool.
Yeah, so we're going to do a... Brad's got a top 5. And I've got a top 3 of Larraz. So we're going to come back to that later. I couldn't think of 5 only because I don't want to just list the ones I've seen. You know, I actually want to choose my faves. So we're going to do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Estigma, we're about to spoil this whole movie. Now, the problem with this movie, it's not super hard to find for watching. But unfortunately, Dorado Films, they kind of folded. They were super inconsistent with release dates, to say the least. I think that was one of the big issues was the finalizing of the discs. There was always some problem. Like the timing was off or the menu was broken or something. They always had a lot of excuses for what was wrong.
Ryan Santowski was not happy.
Yeah, poor Ryan. Yeah. But I managed to snag the Estigma and Emma Puertas Oscuras disc. It's worth a lot of money now, which is hilarious to me because, you know, there's a witch in this house.
No, Leetta finds that hilarious as well.
She does. But yeah,
like,
dude.
Stigma disc is gold.
It's pure gold. Hey there, folks. It's Richard cutting in. Apparently, you can still get some movies from Dorado. You just have to write to them. So I apologize for saying they folded. I don't know what's going on with them. So all I can say is try reaching out to Dorado Films and see what happens. Bye. So this is 1980 Stigma AKA Estigma. And so I have it filed under E and not S in my collection.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But this was his return to horror. He had taken a little break from horror and decided to come back because Jose Ramon Larraz, he liked the sexy movies.
He left horror, but he never left our hearts.
That's right. He made creepy shit, which is creepy because it's sexy. Because sexy's scary. I mean, not really.
Terrifying.
Maybe. If it's the coming of sin, it might be terrifying. Or Black Candles. Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
There is no trailer for this one, dude. I cannot find a freaking trailer.
You need to make a trailer. You could do that.
I could, but I don't have time. I'm not doing that.
Well, I mean, you could make a Doomed Movie-thon special trailer for Estigma.
I'm not Jeffrey in college where Jeffrey made his own trailers for like he made a trailer for
He make a trailer for Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
he did a trailer for something we covered, Runaway Nightmare. He is like,
oh yeah.
I was like, yeah, it looks like a fan made trailer. He's like, that's because I made it. I'm like, oh my god.
Wow.
Because there was no trailer for it. So sadly, you just have to use your imagination.
Heck yeah.
Did this even have a freaking VHS tape? I don't even know. I know it's popping up on some of those, what do you call it, budget compilations.
You know where I got my copy?
Where?
Netflix.
Wow.
Back in the mail days, back when Netflix was different. And I burned it, and it burned as a burned disc. Like when you go, yeah, kind of like the Cinema de Bazaar, some of those films.
Yeah.
Where the menus chopped up.
Good old days.
Yeah, but I got this from Netflix many moons ago.
Sweet.
Like, you can never watch this on Netflix. Like, they'll never put this up for streaming.
No.
But back in the day, you could get all these. I mean, there's tons of films. I got all kinds of Franco and just all kinds of obscure films that you could get in the mail. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. That was the good old days.
Yeah, it was.
Even before that, before Netflix existed, that company started it called Rareflix. And I actually gave them my credit card and was ordering the super obscure stuff from like Shriek Show.
Wow.
And a couple of those other labels that had like just the stuff you couldn't find at like Suncoast Video, because I was trying to.
Sure.
It was back when you had to buy everything just to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, thankfully, those days are pretty much over.
Pretty much, yeah. Actually, I think Stigma is also on YouTube in full.
Yes, it is. In fact, there's two versions, the English dub and the Spanish language. I don't know if the Spanish language is subtitled or not. But yeah, you can find this to watch pretty easily.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me again. I forgot to read the plot synopsis from IMDb, so here goes everything. The death of Sebastian's father engenders in him pathological fears and hallucinations. His death wishes seem to cause horrible accidents, which he is unable to control. When his older brother dies, he feels that he has caused it. He undergoes hypnosis, but his apparent supernatural powers continue. As his own life nears its end, he becomes even more violent and sadistic. Let us jump into this thing, because I took too many notes. I was like, you know what? This movie isn't that complicated. Let me make it complicated.
Sure. Do your thing.
So this movie starts. It's called Estigma. We get a phone call. It turns out that the patriarch of a family was killed in a car accident. So they call this guy named Joe. And Joe is like woken up in the middle of the night, and he's like, oh shit, okay, I'll go to this car accident. And he goes to tell his younger brother, Sebastian. But Sebastian is like, yeah, I know. Like, he knows that dad is dead. And the movie seems real broken here. We fast forward to the funeral. And, I mean, it feels like there are scenes missing. We get to the funeral in record time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sebastian, this kid, the Sebastian, he is played by Christian Borromeo.
Marameo.
Marameo. No, he's played by Christian Borromeo. He was in, of course, Tenebrae and Murder Rock. Mm-hmm. I like him in House on the Edge of the Park, which is probably the sleaziest movie I own in my collection.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that I can't defend or explain because I don't like stuff that sleazy. But that movie has this weird tone. I think it's the late 70s Italian disco thing that keeps me coming back to it. I would normally not be down with something like that.
I think I've seen it. Is it like they're at a house and somebody keeps them hostage or something?
Yeah, David Hess is the guy.
I have seen it.
Giovanni Lombardo Radice.
Mm-hmm, the Radice.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that one. But anyway, so he plays the younger son. He's at the funeral, and I wrote in my notes, I love grave lizards. I was like, hold up, there's a lizard? It's got to be Tampa, right? Because we got a lot of those things all over the place.
It's Argento. That's
right. Look out, lizard. You're going to have a pin stuck through you.
Yep.
So we find out that Sebastian's mommy is played by Helga Line, of all people.
Yeah.
And like anyone who's a son of Helga Line, he has a massive incestuous crush on his mama.
Absolutely, he does.
So he's watching her get ready for a date because she moves a little fast. But he asks her, like, why you put on so much lipstick? You know, when women leave lipstick on glasses, it makes me puke. But they're super close and touchy-feely, and it's if you get a funky vibe, get used to it.
Get used to it.
Our pal...
Sorry. Start that over.
So, Mom says, "Oh, Sebastian, you're at such a difficult age." And yes, he absolutely is. He's at the most difficult age.
Uh-huh.
But Brother Joe walks in. Who is Joe played by? Is Emilio Gutierrez Caba. Whoa, prolific Spanish dude. 217 frickin' credits and counting. Dude's still going in the 2022. Holy shit.
Wow.
Dude is in it to win it.
You know, I've mentioned this before, but Helga Linnea was 41 in 73 when she made Horror Rises from the Tomb.
Wow.
She was 41.
Damn.
And strutting around naked.
Yeah, and she's, in 1980, she still looks amazing.
Yeah.
There's another actress in this that, unfortunately, she'd aged so much I didn't know it was her, and I felt really bad when I found out who it was. We'll talk about her later in the movie.
All right.
But yes, our pal Joe, he doesn't like his brother very much. He thinks that he and his mom need to deal with him, like maybe send him off to school, or it sort of feels like he wants to send him off to a mental institution.
Yes.
Mom explains that her son is sensitive and possibly psychic because of the Venetian veil he was born with.
A call, and I knew a woman back in the 90s whose husband or ex-husband supposedly was born with a call, and it was bad news according to her.
Wow.
So
you have no face when you're born. It's probably bad.
Yeah, and you can tell the future. That's scientific fact.
So real quick, we meet Sebastian's gal pal Martha. He seems to be very infatuated with her, but the moment she suggests hanging out with some friends, he's like, ugh, no, yuck. I don't like that. No, thank you. So he just lets her go, and then we see him come home that night, and he bumps into his mom making out with a suitor. No, thank you.
Mm-mm.
Don't care for it.
Get that ish out of here.
Luckily, they weren't just banging. I guess if this movie had been in 72, they would have been having sex, but it's 1980, so they're just kissing. Because,
Right.
Somewhat restrained. This movie is not totally restrained, but somewhat restrained, especially for Larraz. Sebastian goes to his room to listen to some rock and roll, and then he stabs his desk, which is not a euphemism for masturbation. He actually takes a knife and stabs his desk.
Yeah, but it's going to be now. Excuse me, I have to go stab the desk.
And sitting on Pete's crotch. Oh, no, wait, that's smoking weed that Simon and I established.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's when his mom comes in and tells him, that you're at a difficult age again.
Yeah, I told Elizabeth, I said, you're at a difficult age. 24.
So he is mad about this mother and new suitor thing, and he gets really mad. He tells her that Dad was with a whore when he died, and he screams, "All women are whores!" Which we at the Doom Show do not stand by this opinion. In fact, I think we think the opposite.
No, I do puke when I see lipstick on a glass, but that's normal.
That's you, dude. No, all men are whores.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah. So Sebastian falls asleep listening to his rock and roll, and the movie's not clear whether or not this next scene is a dream or not for quite a while. Then you find out it really happened. So
yeah,
he and Martha are hanging out after school, presumably, and they climb to the top of this observation tower. And while they're up there, she gets scared and decides, this is creeping me out. I don't want to do this. So she tries to leave and go back down these massive flights of stairs, but he starts to harass her, getting a little handsy, trying to kiss her a little bit. Not good.
No.
So before she can get all the way down to ground level, he seems to have a weird moment, and he starts to like stare off into the distance, and the music gets all creepy, and the next thing you know, they're throwing her dummy off of the frickin' third or fourth story of this thing, and his lip is bleeding. So she's dead on the ground, covered in blood, and he's got a cut in his lip that just miraculously bleeds.
We find out why later.
Much later.
Much later.
It's worth noting that he's a bloody lippy boy.
Ugh.
Ugh.
He's leaving bloodstains on glasses.
See, what a hypocrite.
Uh-huh.
So
Jericho.
He's freaking he's just in a church trying to pray, and he gets interrupted by is this Craig Hill? No. Who is this actor? Is it Massimo?
No, Serrato's later. I think it is Craig Hill.
I'm trying to... Craig Hill played a priest in a different movie.
Mm-hmm. With the bloodstained shadow, right?
Yeah, okay, thank you. God, it's so funny. Like, I know who he is, but I can't. I just can't get it. Freaking Craig Hill playing a priest again. I can't believe I'm getting mixed up because he's so amazing in Bloodstained Shadow. Bloodstained Shadow's so good.
He has the best line in this entire movie.
What is it?
Where they're talking, they're discussing, and then he's like, "Here, try these cookies. They're delicious."
I don't know what to do, Father. Sometimes I feel afraid.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Unless you're afraid of yourself.
No.
Here, try some of these cookies. They're delicious.
Yes, I wrote that down. You know what's even more confusing, Brad? You ready for this shit? So Massimo Serrato, the guy I started to mix up with him, he was also in the Bloodstained Shadow.
Yeah, he was.
What? I can't... I feel like I'm losing my mind.
Crazy. Yeah, and that's just 2 years apart, right? Is it 70 or is it 77? I can't
78.
remember.
78. Yeah.
So that's what I thought.
That's
78.
so weird. That's so weird. So yeah. It's great. Like, this priest is giving him some jacked up, dumbass advice, and it's taking all of Sebastian's, like, I guess, fondness for this preacher, or priest, not to roll his eyes. He's like, I talked to a great man once, and he said, blah, 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 blah. And then try some of these cookies, man.
They're delicious.
They remind me of the biscuits from the church. These biscuits are groovy.
They're groovy, man.
He should have offered him some onions.
Onions.
Yep. Don't keep me waiting on those cookies, Herman.
That's right.
So we go to the home of Olga and dumbest dumbass in this movie, who's just dumb. Angie. Oh my God.
Yes.
Angie, baby, if you're out there, and I know you're not, but you need to stop being dumb.
Yeah, she...
Anyway, so Angie is Joe's girlfriend, maybe fiance. I don't know how far along into their relationship they are, but she's played by Alexandra Bastardo, not Bastardo. Okay.
No.
She was in a movie I cannot get through called The Blood Spattered Bride. And it's all my fault, folks. The rapey stuff, it don't appeal to me. I'm not saying I'll never finish it. I have a feeling I'm probably missing out, but yeah.
I had seen it, and then you watched it, and you were mad at me.
I don't remember being mad at you.
You were mad at me.
I was like...
It was okay.
I was like, dude, why did you make this shitty film so shitty, dude? No, I think it was either the animal violence or the rape. And I was like, dude, you could have given me a heads up on that. Which, I don't think that's fair of me, so I apologize, because, you don't control movies.
It was still early. I got to where I was on the lookout for those items,
Yeah. Either way, it all worked out. I just never watched it. So, this Bastardo woman, she was in the original Casino Royale, and she was also in the Saint TV show, a couple episodes. The thing I have seen with her that I'm like, what? She was in The Ghoul from 1975, Freddie Francis.
Wow, Workman and I were just talking about that. He'll
Yeah.
never listen to this because he doesn't listen to podcasts, but
Neither do I, Chris. Don't worry about it.
her birthday is coming up. Her birthday is March 9th, one day after mine.
Whoa. See?
She died young at 67.
Olga, her older pal, she lives with Olga, who, is she supposed to be her aunt? Is she just her friend, roommate? I don't understand their relationship.
No.
Olga certainly has some feelings for her pal, Angie, which we'll get to a little bit later. But this is Irene Gutierrez Caba, another Spanish actress here of quite a few things. I'm just scrolling with the homies.
Scrolling with the homies.
I don't think I've ever seen anything else she did, which is fine. But she is like doing something in the kitchen. She cuts her finger, and then she tells Angie that this is a sign that things are going to be bad. And she says, the time is propitious. No, she doesn't say that. I do love in Spanish dubbed horror films when they say propitious.
I like it.
Yeah. Olga is psychic, and she knows Sebastian is coming, and she's like, dun dun dun. And I wrote in my notes, hold up, Angie is stunning. That actress is really beautiful, I should say.
She really is.
They hang out. We have a nice little dinner date, but there's a lot of suspicious glances going around. They're talking about charnel houses and burial grounds, like this apartment they live in was built on a burial ground or some shit.
Yeah.
They get into a religious debate versus like religion versus psychic phenomenon debate.
Elizabeth says that her house looks like a hotel lobby.
It does. It does not look like a comfortable like domicile for people to live in. It's a good call. Oh, dude, there's lipstick on a glass in the scene, and Sebastian don't like it.
No likey.
So we go back to Sebastian's room, and he's having visions, and he sees himself hung, bro. I dream about my Sebastian being much bigger than it actually is in real life. Is that a thing?
It is now.
My Borromeo is too small in real life. But he has a cool painting, and I want to look this up, because I don't know what this painting is, but it's really surreal, and I've seen it before, and Google just failed me. God.
You know, I know what you're talking about, because the ship, the big ship in the door, I did not recognize, but then there was something else that I did.
It was the face. Yes.
Yes.
Damn it. Surreal painting. This is going to be a fun part to edit. Surreal painting.
Yeah.
Face.
30 minutes later.
Leaves.
Oh, Ted messaged me and told me to tell you hi.
Hi, Ted. Ted Rossum is awesome.
Tedador awesome.
So, folks, if you've seen Estigma, look for that surreal painting with the ship floating down a hallway, and there's this face. It looks like a collage, but it's obviously been painted. It's just this beautiful, creepy painting.
Yeah, it really is. In my mind, when I watched it last night, I thought, is this an album cover?
It was probably used, somebody probably used it. Maybe like Genesis used it as one of their album covers or something. Peter Gabriel looked at it and went, yoink.
Yoink.
After he sees himself hung, we cut to Olga just straight up telling Angie, like, this kid is evil. And I think she actually says in the English dub, he's a horrible danger zone.
Yes.
They did some funny acrobatics in this movie to make sure that the English talking matched the lips. I would be very curious to watch this in its original intention and see. Although, Larraz filmed a lot in English anyway.
He did.
Sebastian is a horrible danger zone. We must avoid him.
And that's when Olga gives her this awkward kiss. Like, she leans over and is like, take care, my friend. I'm leaning in for a kiss. And Angie's like, what are you doing?
Yes.
Oh, boy. And just lingers a little too long, dude. It's just like The Holiday starring Jack Black and what's her face from Titanic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's the girl. So our buddy Angie works at a bookstore, and she works at a bookstore that stocks a book about Roddy McDowall. Did you catch this?
Yes, I saw the Roddy McDowall
What the
book.
hell?
It was in the window. It was awesome. I paused it and I'm like, look, it's Roddy McDowell.
Dude, so he has a cameo in this movie.
He does.
Oh my God.
Not even in his IMDb.
Oh boy. Our buddy Sebastian is watching her, and over drinks that night, Joe and her are on a date at a bar, and he's like, man, my brother is taciturn. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, someone used the word taciturn. That's incredible.
Amazing.
Joe explains that Sebastian is a bad seed, who was happy when their daddy died. And, of course, Sebastian is stalking them while they're on their date. And then we get more fun where Sebastian pulls a tape recorder out from under a bed. I was a little confused at first, but I think this was him recording his mother's lovemaking. But he could have also been recording his brother's lovemaking as well. But
well, there's a lot of lovemaking going on.
Yeah, dude. So he goes to take a shower. This is what's known as a shower scene. And we don't get to see his floppy little Borromeo. But a woman who shows up who might be Martha and who might be someone else, a ghostly visit happens.
Right.
She comes out of the shower in the coolest way. She's in the tub, but she doesn't sit up. She floats up, turning from the tub. And he like backs away, like he's like, oh shit. And then in the mirror, she falls screaming. That scare got me, and I knew it was coming because it got me so good the first time. I was anticipating it, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then boom, and it scared me again.
Nice.
Dude, what the fuck? It's so good.
It is.
I want to say there's another scare coming later that I really like. But we see, after this, we see Joe and Angie making the sex act. And he's going away for a few days. And it's a very lovely scene. I don't even know why I wrote it down. And then Angie is like getting annoyed with Olga because Olga's giving Angie yet another warning. And I'm getting mad at Angie because she is not heeding these warnings. You need to be heeding the fuck out of these warnings, lady. She goes on a boat ride with Sebastian, and he's visited by the spirit of this mysterious girl ghost who may or may not be Martha watching him from the water. Oh yeah, so Sebastian that night comes home and he's kind of spying on Mom and her lover. He's made it very awkward for them, I think, because they're not making out, they're not doing anything, they're just kind of sitting and smoking and not talking. And then Sebastian like totally throws some shade at this new lover guy.
Yeah.
Like just slams the door in his face. Olga she has a vision of Sebastian smiling at her, and this is going to give her this super smart idea that is going to drive the rest of the movie. And so she's like, don't go to high places with Sebastian.
That's right.
Now, Brad, did you read into the phrase high in this high places?
Sure did.
No dispensaries, LOL, 420 spliff.
That's right. This was in the days of illegal marijuana.
Nowadays, you pack a bong with the mint leaves.
Yeah. And drink some CBD tea.
CBDPT?
Yeah.
Some PP baloney.
PP baloney, if that's your thing. It's not mine.
All God's children, right?
That's right, absolutely.
So after this warning of not to go to high places, she immediately goes on a sky ride with him. One of those frickin' dealies that hangs above the city perilously. He tells her about his bloody lip problem, and she says, hey, when I was 14, I too had a bloody lip problem. Are you saying lip? Okay, no, I don't have that problem, young man.
No, I thought maybe bloody lisp.
I'm not going to do a lisp. That's not cool.
No.
I almost did. But she doesn't believe in his superpowers because he's telling her like how he can freaking command people to die and shit. And he goes home and his brother's mad at him about skipping school and being just a dumbass at college or whatever. But we all know that he's really mad because he's been hanging out with Angie. I wrote in my notes, wah, wah, the kids at school don't like me, wah, wah, just because I might have murdered Martha.
Yeah, I mean, I might have murdered Martha.
Poor kid. Joe threatens to pack him up and send him off to boarding school. And Sebastian, using his powers, causes his brother to have a little bit of a fender bender. To death.
Just a little.
At this point, Mom is starting to wise up, and she's like, there's too many coincidences, blah, 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 blah. And then we see Sebastian coming in to see his mom in the middle of the night and just caressing her face while she's asleep.
Yeah, normal stuff.
Oh, boy. Angie, for some reason, agrees to meet with Sebastian, and she just wants to know, why'd you kill Joe?
Yeah.
What's up with you?
I mean, she's for real. She's not like, your brother died mysteriously. She's like, you killed him. And now I want to hang out with you because I have no control over my own life.
Yeah, well, he says, I can't control my thoughts. It's like, bro, his name is Professor Xavier. It's right around the time you could go become one of the New Mutants. Do some good with this murder powers you got.
That's correct.
We cut back to him sniffing his mother's underneath clothes, which is always good, I guess. He's visited by Martha once again. But this time she's got a pal. It's Joe. So she's got these two freaking ghostly, ghastly, pallid freaking people staring at him. And it's so creepy.
Pallid people. I like that.
You like that?
Pallid. Yeah, I do.
Or just powdered people.
Pallid people. I mean, up with people.
Oh, no, it's down with people, I'm afraid.
Oh, jeez.
He sees some skeletons, and we get some amazing fisheye lens floating around, some frickin' skeletons, and I wrote in my notes, skeletons, ah!
It's scary.
Angie visits with him yet again, apologizes for being mean to him, and I'm like, why? He killed your frickin' boyfriend, dipshit.
I mean, for real.
But she says Olga can help him, and I honestly thought this viewing, because I hadn't thought about, I couldn't remember how this movie ends. I thought she was like trying to trick Sebastian to get revenge on him, but no, she's like legit.
She's trying to help him.
Olga wants to delve into his mind, so they have a nice seance. Oh, I wish. They have a hypnotism scene, which is one of my other favorite things in horror movies. They hypnotize this little biatch named Sebastian, and he tells Olga about this old mansion where there's a tower.
Yeah.
There is no tower at the mansion.
No.
I think they just wanted to tie all this stuff together.
In the dubbing. Try these cookies. They're delicious.
We'll talk about the guy who they called in to help doctor up this screenplay.
Yeah. I did read about that. So, very interesting.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
And of course, Larraz is very funny about that. So he tells him about the old mansion with the tower, and then he sees who we think is Martha, but it's not Martha. This is I believe this is Julia.
Julia Dream.
I believe this is Julia. This is a different girl. She's very similar hair, similar body type. So of course I was getting confused, but no, it's a different actress. And of course, it's his sister. This is his sister. Apparently, our buddy Sebastian is having one of those past life regression dealies.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see his father, and it's like, hold up, that's his father? And that, of course, is Massimo Serrato.
Yes, sir.
Sebastian's name in this past life was Michael. So in case I start calling him Michael, that's what I'm doing. We get some incest, of course, because we need more incest. Except this time it's not mommy in the past. It's his sister in the past.
Yes.
He talks about hiding in the cellar. It's the only place he feels safe or feels alive. And then he hangs himself in the cellar. And I wrote in my notes, Angie, through all of this, still doesn't want to cut this kid loose.
Nope.
She's drawn to him like a moth to a wet burp.
Yes.
Which I just made myself laugh because I'm a dummy.
It was good, though.
Thank you. And I wrote in my notes, living it up when you're Sebastian. Stuck in an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing some ghost legs when you're walking down or something. I don't know. I should have worked on that.
No, that was perfect.
So Sebastian, there was just a random ghost sighting that had nothing to do with anything. But then Sebastian recorded his hypno session, so now he knows where to go because in the session he actually named the place, this mansion. He gave it a name.
See, I could not make that connection whatsoever. It's just all of a sudden he's in a taxi, and I thought, how did he know where to go?
Exactly. He's cruising in this taxi with someone credited as Taxista. And this is Jose Maria Caffarel. And just like every other person in this frickin' movie is in 250 frickin' credits. Oh my god.
Wow.
Jeez. These legends, dude. The Legends.
The Legends.
He was in a movie I want to see called Leonore, which is a Buñuel film from 1975. Looks interesting.
I bought Elizabeth a Buñuel set from Criterion for Valentine's Day.
Nice. Very sweet.
She wanted it, so I gave it to her.
Cool. Yeah, I know very little about Buñuel. I think I've seen maybe 2 of his movies. I don't even know which ones.
We've seen The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie.
I think I've seen that in college. I think I rented that from the library.
Yeah, it was good.
But yeah, so this taxi boy, he's got all the info. He just does a frickin' exposition dump all over the movie.
Just splat.
Dude. I actually wrote in my notes, he's an exposition dumper. He talks about the mysterious deaths at the property. Young women were being killed, drowned in a well. And I said, hold up. Is that Samara or Sadako? Let him out. Die in 7 days, brother.
Yes. Get someone else that tape, yo.
He goes to the mansion, which is this amazing mansion. I was so disappointed there wasn't more details about where this was filmed, because this house looks so familiar to me. It's so beautiful. I'm sure I've seen other films shot there.
You're bound to.
But he breaks in and goes inside, and they do an amazing Pepper's Ghost effect, where you see him, and you think that he's like a ghost, but he's just reflected in this glass door. Then he opens the door and walks in, and as he's shutting the door, the ghost of that woman, Julia, is there in there. It's like, oh, such a sweet, I'm guessing an in-camera effect that's like really cool.
Did you say Peppers?
Yeah, I believe it's called a Pepper's Ghost. It is. It is a thing. I used to not know what it was, but my favorite band, folks, Terra Mellos. You got to check out Terra Mellos. And the song that they did is called System Preferences, and he references a Pepper's Ghost. It's an illusion technique used in theaters, cinema, amusement parks, museums, etc., where you basically arrange the room so that there's a film of glass or plexiglass, and it's angled so that when you're looking at it, you see the reflection of something. It looks like it's in front of you. So you have someone standing in the darkness, and then when you light them off stage, they're reflected in that plexiglass. So it looks like they're right in front of you. Yeah, it's called a Pepper's Ghost.
Those old boys at Terra Mellos, man.
Yeah. Dude, if I didn't think we'd get the frickin' episode taken down, I'd play a little sample of System Preferences, because it's a frickin' great song.
How does the algorithm know?
It's just the frickin' record labels. Like, anytime you have given your music to any of these streaming services, it makes the entire song like flaggable by the bots. Which is why I don't play much music from these movies anymore. So if a movie's super obscure and the soundtrack has never been released, I'm pretty confident I can sneak it in.
I have got to say that the episode that I listened to was your favorite slashers.
Yes.
And the theme song was very, very good.
Oh, yeah?
Your theme song, the one that you did. With the voices, the samples.
Oh, all the quotes from the movies? Oh, yeah, dude. That's my little intro.
I mean, I've heard it before. I don't listen to our show much.
Oh. Ooh. I listen to our show like all the time because I'm a psycho.
I mean, you're our downloads. We record this for you.
I looked up our downloads, and it was like this insane amount of downloads for a year of podcasting. It's like 11,000 or something.
Really?
And I'm like, that's just me, right? Like,
wow! This is live. I had no idea we had that many. That's crazy. Like the last time we talked about it, we were like at 30.
Yeah, we get like, I'm guessing like 300 to 600 listens an episode or something.
Hey, careful with that fudge.
Sorry, Ernie. It's the rookie's first time covering cookies.
Do I have to use so much fudge?
We're elves. We always use lots.
Lots of rich, creamy fudge makes our good Keebler cookies taste even more uncommonly good.
Keep your eye on a cookie, kid.
Making Keebler fudge-covered cookies takes lots of fudge.
And lots of practice.
Fudge sticks, fudge stripes, fudge marshmallows, and deluxe grahams from Keebler.
I meant to say earlier in this recording that this is the first time that we have recorded in back-to-back weeks in 100 years.
Holy shit, yes.
Yes.
It has been a long time.
And if it weren't for my birthday next week, if you had time, we'd do it the third week.
Yeah, dude.
I'm all about striking while the iron's hot and getting you lots of content this year.
Dude, I'm all about getting parts of my body stuck to that iron because it's so hot.
Heck, yes.
Ow.
We're going to try to avoid that, but...
All right. So we get the ghost, and then all of a sudden, it's raining outside. And bam, Angie jumps in. Hey, what's up? I followed you here, dude, because I knew where you were going to be, because I was there at your hypno session, brother.
That's right. Your mom said, where were you? And I said, he's at the haunted house.
I said, Angie scares are the new jump scares. Look out, Hollywood.
Look out, Hollywood. Total Angie scare.
Totes.
Ugh, this movie's filled with Angie scares. God, I hate my life.
Ah, man, Annabelle in space is dumb, dude. So things be spooky, and Sebastian's just freaking out. He's like, can't you smell the blood? And of course, he takes a nap, and Angie's watching over him while he sleeps. He wakes up, and he's haunted by the bloody bodies, apparently. And that's when he is now in the past. This is when he's turned into Michael. So Michael and his sister are very close. She pays him a naughty visit in the night.
Ooh.
I have to say, Jose Ramon Larraz, you're naughty, because she is insanely gorgeous.
Yes.
And well, Christian Borromeo is also a beautiful specimen.
True.
So I was conflicted about their incestuousness. Hopefully they were not related in real life.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, that would...
You didn't need that kind of realism.
No, sir. And she's a gosh darn pillow biter.
She's a pillow biter, it's for sure.
Yeah, she's riding him like he's the last biscuit on the old Burger King Expressway.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a famous phrase coined just now.
Yes, people use it.
Live it. Tell your friends if you don't want to keep them as your friends.
Right. Tell your truth.
Yes, tell the priest that it's offering you cookies about it.
Yeah, use your words.
Oh, boy. So the next day, presumably, in this flashback, his father be scolding, Daddy be scolding. He's like, get back to your studies. And they have this whole, what is the capital of Estonia? What is the capital of this country? What is this country's capital? Blah, 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 blah.
And he's an idiot.
Yeah. Yes, he is. I think he tells his sister that killing a person is doing them a favor, and I was very confused about what that was about. But of course, his sister's getting married, and he's a bit jelly.
Uh-huh.
I said in my notes, this will probably not end well.
No.
So of course he goes Lizzie Borden on these here bitches. He takes an axe and he gives them at least 8.6 whacks, but we need to talk about Mom. So,
so this is who you were talking about earlier.
In the present day, Sebastian's mom is Helga Line, which is fantastic. In the flashbacks, his mother is played by Annabella Incontrera.
That's what I thought.
One of those giallo vixens from back in the day. Second viewing, had no idea who it was. I had no clue that it was her.
I didn't either.
I'm guessing, and this is just, folks, you can shame me. I'm not trying to be a dick. I think she maybe had a child at some point. Because she looks like a different woman completely. And she's still very, very beautiful. And knowing it's her makes her even more beautiful to me because she's one of my favorite actresses just of all time.
Yeah, she's got a look.
And so, yes, that is Annabella Incontrera, dude. Like, this is just like our pal, oh, geez, why is her name flying out of my head?
She's in a film called The Crimes of the Black Cat.
Yeah, dude. Oh, my God, but who am I trying to...
somebody.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... That's true. Oh, good call. I'm trying to think of the frickin'... Just like our buddy, Anita Strindberg, who was in Murder Obsession in 1980... This was her last film.
Was it really?
Yeah, Annabella Incontrera, this was her last film,
Amazing.
She showed up in a TV movie in 2011, but it was posthumous. She'd already passed away, so it may have been like footage they used from something else.
Right.
So she was just like, I'm done. And she seems a little tired in this. Like, she's not much of a character. Sadly. Anita Strindberg, I don't know why she retired because she's amazing in Murder Obsession. You're like, what are you doing?
She really is.
Tired of that grind, y'all. So he kills both of them with the axe, and then he attacks his sister, and she hurts his lip.
Yes.
Yep.
But I told Elizabeth, I said, she jumped out of a bath quicker than anyone has ever jumped out of a bath.
I would have slipped and fallen to my death. He wouldn't have had to kill me.
I would have. Yeah, it'd been over.
We get this great shot of her in the curtain. Like they've got like a privacy curtain, which is weirdly see-through for some reason. And it's just, so beautifully staged and so freaking haunting. Oh my God.
Well, it's something that I have to continually think about while we're recording this is that you watched a nice pristine Blu-ray.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I watched a VHS rip that had been thrown on a disc.
A grubby bootleg, yep.
Grubby bootleg.
And I will say this about the Dorado Blu-ray. They didn't put much work into the restoration. They just found a good print of it. They did not.
Yeah.
I don't think they did shit to it. It looks nice.
They probably didn't.
Perfectly reasonable, and it sounds great. But yeah, don't worry, you're not missing the crisp clearness. Back in the present day, Angie and Sebastian are making out, and I'm like, Angie, girl, come on. He starts choking her and kills her, and I'm like, yep, did not see that coming, boy.
Yeah, really.
So he kills her, and he starts running around the house, and he's all alone, and he's just totally nuts. And he runs away from the house, and we see him laying in bed, ghastly pale and sickly looking, like sweating and staring at the ceiling. It almost looks like his eyes are rolled back in his head. And you realize that this corpse is alive, but he's like laying in bed, totally mad. Like he's lost his mind completely.
And he's listening to an audio tape.
What is the tape he's
sounded like, I thought it was his mother.
Oh.
Might have been Olga, I don't know, but I thought it was his mother.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And she was saying like stuff. I wish I'd been paying attention. My notes, for all the overly long amount of notes I took, I've totally lost it by the end. But we get the haunting music, the oppressive music, which I didn't want to really talk about the score too much, because one of the things I might complain about is while the music is good, it's very spare. Not a lot of music in this, but the composer is Daniele Petrucci. He's one of the lesser known dudes. He did a great score for Frankenstein 80, and he did music for Sex of the Witch.
Right.
And music I vaguely remember. I want to listen to this score again. I forgot to listen to it because I just noticed he did it. He did Plot of Fear.
You know, I've so many times over the past couple of years, I have that DVD.
Yeah.
We watched it once.
Yes.
And I often think I should watch Plot of Fear again.
Dude, I would love to cover it with you, because, like, it's...
Let's do that in the future.
It's a very different film. Oh, I got a Spasmo. Spasmo?
It is. Spasmo.
Spasmo, what are you doing? She talked for Simon. I'm trying to get her to talk for you. Spasmo.
Come on, son.
She's looking at me like, what are you doing? Pet me, dumbass. She's very confused as to why I'm completely... All right, I'm petting her. All right.
All right, there you go.
I think we should cover Plot of Fear. That'd be really fucking sweet.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
It's Kavara. Is that right? The director?
Yes.
It's not...
I closed the window.
It's not a traditional giallo, really.
No, it's very different. It has... I think it has like some reveals and some kills that are giallo-like. But it's got a different vibe to it. It's 76, so it's one of the later ones.
Uh-huh.
I did find a film that is a lost horror film when I was doing my little snooping around. The cinematographer for this movie, Giuseppe Bernardini, he shot a film called Mostro Sita from 1979. And it is lost. It is a gone film. I can't even find a poster for it. All I know is that it's horror.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Spanish... Oh, it's a Spanish-Italian co-production.
Mm.
The dude who wrote... was one of the writers on Naked Girl Killed in the Park worked on it.
Nice.
Yeah, but
That's an OG giallo from you.
Do you remember your Carlo DeMeo joke? Because Carlo DeMeo's in it.
No, I don't think I do remember.
I have a message saved on my phone from probably like 7 or 8 years ago, where you said, "Did
you know that Carlo DeMeo had a brother named Hold? Yes, his name was Hold DeMeo."
I can't remember the whole joke now. I'll have to see if I can get it off my phone and put it in this episode.
I'm sure it's hilarious.
It's very hilarious. I just can't remember the whole joke. It'll be the episode 250. It'll be the Easter egg in this episode.
Heck yeah.
Giuseppe Bernardini, who shot this bad boy, he shot The Other Hell, and he shot Sweets from a Stranger, which is a freaking amazing 80s giallo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he also worked on Fatal Frames.
Nobody's perfect.
Dude, I had someone defend Fatal Frames so hard to me in that giallo group, the Nice Ties group.
Uh-huh.
Dude, he was like, you don't understand how hard it was to make that film. It was a freaking labor of love, and he begged, borrowed, and stole to get it made and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's
I don't
2
care.
hours and change, bro.
Mm-hmm.
At 90 minutes, that movie would have been a classic. Like, it's a bad movie, but it's fun bad. But then you got that extra 40 minutes and shit on. Oh my god!
I think David Ladd has wanted us to cover that.
Oh, it's already done.
Oh, okay. Good.
Jeffrey and I did it forever ago.
I didn't do it.
No, you didn't.
Me.
No. Jeffrey's like, it's gonna be great. I'm like, you.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm glad we did it. And
Sure.
Hey, I've never made a film. I've made short films. I can't imagine making a 70-minute movie, much less a 2 hour and change epic. But man, I can't stand that movie. Holy crap.
Amazing.
Whew. Let's see. We have some words from our pal Jose Ramon Larraz about this film.
Mm-hmm.
From the liner notes of the Dorado Films Blu-ray here. It says, his return to the horror film in 1979/80, Estigma, is a very caring project from the beginning, where Larraz puts his heart into it, and he says in his memoirs, this is the weird translation, folks. The script was, that's very weird. The script was written entirely by me, although to cover some fudge of the co-production, it was signed also by another writer, an Italian whom I did not even know.
Uh-huh.
And that Italian was Sergio Pastore, who you name-dropped a little bit earlier, the director of The Crimes of the Black Cat.
Yeah. Do you have that Blu-ray?
I did. It's not bad.
No, I've got it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a lot better than the one I had.
Oh God, yes. He says, Larraz says, Stigma was a full-fledged horror film. I believe we have succeeded in providing the desired restlessness effect. I think we all enjoyed shooting that movie, and none more than I.
Classic.
It's funny to me, Brad. You know how we always talk about a film that's very personal to the director is a bad film?
Yeah. Right.
I have my thoughts about how I feel about this movie, but I want to hear, unless you have some more, any trivia or any like sweet sauce.
No, I can tell you. So we got this and watched it before you saw it.
Oh yeah.
And we got ready to watch it again last night for the show, and I said, this is a film that I remember losing attention, and then looking up at the end, it was amazing. But I said, there's some sort of change in there, and I'm not sure, I don't remember. So we got Culver's last night, which is a fast food chain, and they've got,
we got
a
Culver's.
particular meal. Oh, excellent. There's a particular meal that fits our Weight Watchers. I got a grilled chicken sandwich, but that's pretty carby for what we eat. So while watching it, I fell asleep last night. It opens, and it's, a Carrie-ish, the Fury type, guy with... And then I wake up, and they're going back in time.
It's a
and
gothic
I'm like,
movie.
Yeah, I'm like, what has happened? So I watched it from that point on, then rewound it, and watched what I'd missed. So my first thought is, this would have been an amazing film to see when you were a child. Because can you imagine trying to explain this to somebody? I saw this film, and this guy, he was killing people with his mind, and then they go back in time, and he has sex with his sister, and then he hatchets his family to death, and then in the future he kills his girlfriend. So it would have been, the logic of this movie is very, very dreamlike. And I don't know if the editing of it has something to do with that as well, because it does feel like there are maybe small chunks missing.
Yeah, that's exactly how this version feels to me, yeah.
The first part where he's carrying it up all over the place, I like, but when they go back in time, I think that's really where the film is just out and out amazing.
Yeah.
They're the contrast between him and the girl in the present, and for him going back in time or reliving or whatever, there's a shot that gave me the vibe.
Yes.
And I don't get the vibe a whole lot, but where the camera is tracking down the hallway and the music is playing, I get the vibe big time. And then you see her by the bathtub dead. Just absolutely amazing, the hallway scene. It's very dreamlike, but I thought I'd seen it before, and then I remember you seeing it, loving it, and kind of looking at Elizabeth going, I need to see that again because I don't remember it being awesome, but it really is. I love Larraz, and I think it being a personal film like you just spoke of, I think it probably was. He had been out of horror for a little while, had done some, sexy type films that I don't think either one of us have a whole lot of desire to see. It's just not our thing. But I think this really, like a minor classic of just dreamlike abandon. I'll always think about you in The House by the Cemetery and how you saw that film, and I've got a similar film that's nowhere near as good. But Nightmares or Voices, it's going to get a Blu-ray release.
Oh, yeah,
supposedly.
dude. Oh, my God.
I saw that at my great-grandmother's house on a Saturday afternoon when I was 5 or 6. I mean, I was young.
That's wild.
And all I could remember was the ending. And, of course, that gives away the whole film. But I've got it on. I've got a bootleg. I ordered it from... Trash Palace, and they kept sending me Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. And I kept telling him, I said, this is not what I ordered, so I could send this back.
Dude.
And he's like, no, just keep it. Just keep Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. And I think they did it twice. They sent me Nightmares in a Damaged Brain twice. Because Nightmares obviously is a generic title, and I think it's so funny that at 5 or 6 I saw a film with David Hemmings and his wife at the time, Gail Honeycutt, that when I got older, I mean, Deep Red is one of the main reasons that I found you, was because early on I was Googling Giallo, and of course Do Moviethon and Cinema Somnambulist were coming up. And then his wife, Gail Honeycutt, is in The Legend of Hell House, which we watch every single Christmas Eve, because it's a Christmas movie. So I think it's so interesting that was so important. I wish I had bought the Dorado Blu-ray. It would have driven me crazy waiting 40 years for it to come out.
That's why I don't pre-order. I hate pre-ordering now.
I would have just given up, you know? So I wish I had. I don't know about Emma, the other film.
It's great.
It's is it really?
Yeah, it's good.
I wish I should have gotten it. But no, I wish I had it. But see, the same thing happened again. Is that we're watching it, and I'm like, this is okay. I don't really know. I know Richard holds this film in high esteem, and I don't know why. And then I fall asleep because I've eaten carbs, and I wake up and it's a gothic horror film with incest, and I'm like, I had to rewind and go back, because Elizabeth wasn't paying attention, and I said, what happened? And she said, I have no idea.
Yep.
I'm as shocked as you are. So no, I really do enjoy this. I think it really fits into a category of a very, very dream-like film.
Oh yeah. It's funny you mentioned the editing, because this editor is famous, dude. This is an Italian guy named Sergio Montanari. First thing, he freaking edited Django.
Really?
He edited Texas Adios, God Forgives I Don't, and that's just a random sampling of the Westerns.
Wow.
And then you move into the 70s, he freaking edited Devil in the Brain. Speaking of Gialli, that desperately need a Blu-ray, folks. 1972's Devil in the Brain. He freaking,
so good.
He edited Revolver. He edited,
nice.
He edited Plot of Fear. Plot of Fear came back to see us. He edited Star Crash.
Star Crash.
Holy
Scott McDonald's
shit.
ears pricked up.
He's like, wait, someone mentioned Star Crash.
Somebody mentioned Star Crash?
Yeah, this dude is credited with 167 films for his editing work. So yeah, major stuff. That's very cool. Did you ever watch frickin' Nightmares in a Damaged Brain?
Yes, I did.
That's a movie.
It was actually a very good print of it.
Nice.
Disliked it, and I don't know if it's mostly because of the way it was, or if it's because they just kept sending me that movie instead of the one that I wanted.
It's hard to like. I think it's got that reputation. It's one of those video nasty. It's a video nasty for a reason. I see why people would want to censor that film, but it's just so Florida and so weird. And I was always under the impression that it was super Italian. But it's like barely Italian.
It's American.
It's basically an American film. But no, I like it, but it's like, it's one of those films I'm going to struggle with like getting rid of, because I'm notorious about weeding stuff out of my collection. And I can't let it go yet. I'm not ready to let it go. I think it might just be the Florida shit, because love Florida movies. Oh my Lord. I still stand by my very mild criticism that they don't really lean into the music enough. I think if this had a more... like a theme, like a more like catchy, even if it's a minor key, it doesn't have to be happy. The dude, composer, he did some really upbeat stuff for other movies. It doesn't need that per se, but I really wish this had like a theme that it kind of leaned into to kind of fill in those quiet moments. My other criticism is, yes, this is a slow, methodically paced movie.
It's a slow burn.
This is one of his slowest ones. And because so much crazy shit happens at the end, it feels like a little unbalanced. But it's got the understated stuff in it. It's got the frickin' that delicate lighting. Like everything just looks so pretty. Once again, I'm watching a Jose Ramon Larraz movie in 4:3, like the full frame kind of shot. I don't think I've seen a movie of his in widescreen other than Vampires. I think Vampires might be widescreen. Most of his movies are shot in that weird 4:3 thing. And it's really interesting. I don't know of any filmmaker that shot that stuff on purpose like that, because Symptoms, the Blu-ray, is in the same ratio.
Yep, and the bootleg that we had forever, same way. And
I always assumed that we were just watching the cropped VHS version of his movies, but I think that was his like preferred way of shooting.
Apparently so.
The locations in this are incredible, especially the mansion at the end. All the
absolutely.
The sets are great. Even the stuff that at his house in the city is really nice too. They're all shot really well. Camera work incredible. The fisheye lens gets busted out at some point, and it's just the ghoulish moments, the scares. I can't believe this scares me still. Like it gets me with a jump scare. I get the vibe multiple times in this. Like I hit that. Oh, then that's why I really was excited to get around to talking about this guy.
Yes. When we recorded last week, I said let's record again next week.
Yeah.
And you said Stigma, and it just so happened that here where I record in the library, I have a stack of DVDs. And out of the thousands of DVDs that I own, Stigma was in that stack sitting right beside me.
Nice. I like the ambitiousness of this movie, too, because it's 2 films in one. You get all the psychic phenomena, like you said, the Carrie, trying to play up to the frickin' Fury.
Yeah, exactly.
With, 1/100,000th of the budget. And then you just, all of a sudden, you're in this past life regression ghosty movie. It's very interesting.
It is, absolutely.
But yeah, I look forward to coming back to Larraz at some point. Hey, let's talk about him now.
All right, let's do it. I'm going to let you go first.
All right, I'm going to pick my top 3, and Brad's going to do his top 5.
6.
So, look at that. You got so many. So I'm looking at his movies here. I'm going to go ahead and say this movie could be my number 1. But Symptoms says, fuck you, I'm number 1. Because Symptoms is the best.
Amazing.
Oh my God. I would think the next one would be probably Vampires, but I don't reach for Vampires anymore. I want to watch it again soon, but that was my introduction to his work. And
a lot of people, I would say.
Exactly. A lot of people who came into his movies, in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, that was the film that you could find of his easily. That wasn't, porn. And of course, Black Candles. Oh my God. Black Candles is so amazing. Folks at home, hey, if you love Black Candles, more power to you.
Absolutely.
That is my kryptonite. That film rejects me. I reject it. I can't go with that goat business. Get that goat out of my face, y'all. But my real number 3 is, I think I'm going to go with Vampires, but honestly, Edge of the Axe is trying to creep in there, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I freaking love Edge of the Axe. Edge of the Axe, it was so good, it made me like Rest in Pieces less, because we had that boom, boom, boom of like Larraz coming out on Blu-ray.
3, Bloody Manor, Rest in Pieces.
Deadly Manor.
Deadly
Manor is super good. I like it. But Rest in Pieces was a bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my 3.725. What is your 6?
All right, so I had 5, and then I made it 6. 6 would be Stigma.
Nice.
It would be higher if I had the Blu-ray, no doubt. 5 is Whirlpool, which is his debut film.
Nice.
It's a sexy thriller, but not a sexy thriller. There's on we got the DVD, the Blu-ray set of Vampires, Whirlpool, and The Coming of Sin, which I haven't watched. And Tim, obviously, he always did a really good, informative podcast commentary. 4 would be Vampires.
Nice.
I think it's an excellent film. 3 would be Edge of the Axe. I really, really enjoyed Edge of the Axe. Out of the 3 of those that we were talking about a minute ago, that's my favorite.
Nice.
2 would be The House That Vanished, also known as Scream and Die.
Yes.
That's another one that I got from Netflix. It's a terrible looking DVD.
I have a download that's much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I can.
Yeah.
I know a guy who can send it to you.
Yeah, tell that guy that this guy would like to hear from him. The plot is easy to follow. I mean, there's not any surprises, but I really, I think that was my, after Vampires, that was my next film from Larraz.
Sweet.
And then, of course, number 1 is Symptoms. And it was going to be, there was only going to be Symptoms because I think that's just his best film.
Yeah.
It's, we covered it back episode
2,
5 or 10 or something. It was in the early one.
Yeah. Let me take a look. I'm actually very curious. So does that count as your question time, or did you have another?
No, that's my question time
nice.
for this. Is that I sent it to you so we could do our top Larraz films.
Oh yeah, no. Symptoms was number 6.
Number 6.
I kept thinking it was number 2, but that number 2 was next of kin.
This was back when I would say, Richard, I saw a trailer, or I saw this, or saw that, and it.
Sorry, the witch is talking.
It doesn't have a release. Can you find it? And you always did.
Yeah.
Like that.
I tried.
It was amazing. Magic.
Yeah.
We do have some double features.
We gotta freaking double feature it up. So folks, we've been doing the new thing Brad cooked up where we talk about a freaking random double feature. And Brad, why don't you go first since I got to go first for
all right.
the listy.
I had one and I thought I was going to stick with it. And now remember, these films, they could be alike, they could be disparate. Could have like the same star, it's whatever. There's no rules.
Yeah.
And I had one that I was going to go with, but I think it has changed since we've been sitting here talking. I would say watch 2 of the greatest vampire films of the 1970s and go with Larraz's Vampires and Daughters of Darkness.
Oh my God, yes.
I think that would make a great double feature. And listen, it's not rocket science either. I'm sure plenty of you have thought, there will be films hopefully coming where maybe I will have something a little more challenging.
Yeah.
I think what I had picked originally would be something more challenging, but just sitting here, it makes me want to go put in Vampires and then Daughters of Darkness.
Nice. I was having trouble. We were on the phone and I was staring at my shelves trying to think of something. And I had picked a great first feature, but then I'd picked something with such a unique tone that I'm going to have more time to think about it. So that's in the future.
Gotcha.
I saw something and then I was like, what would that go with? Okay, the theme is you're at a drive-in. It's 1980 and you're getting a new movie and a movie that is still making the rounds. That's been out for a few years. And maybe you've seen the one that's been out for a few years, but you love it. And you realize your brain's about to get melted by these 2 films back to back.
All right.
The first film is Shockwaves. The Nazi zombie movie.
Yes.
To end all Nazi zombie movies.
Absolutely.
And with the frickin' second feature, Strange Behavior, a.k.a. Dead Kids.
Yeah, that is a great double feature.
I was like, man, that would make my night when I was a frickin' person who only went to a drive-in like twice in his whole life.
Amazing. No, that strikes at the very heart of what I wanted double features to be.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Woo! Dude, we did it. We did this.
We did. Could we throw out some shout outs?
Please bring it.
My list of shout outs are David Ladd, friend of the show.
Hell yeah.
Him and his wife have a movie podcast that we've discussed, The Movie Clinic.
Check it out.
Lanny, my cousin-in-law Lanny, listens to the show.
Yay.
Mark, you know who you are. Huge friend of the show. Super nice guy.
Totally.
Tedador Rossum, who is awesome. I talked to him quite a bit. Somebody that I talked to this very week because Veronica Carlson died, and that's Court Psyops.
Yes.
Him and I covered Dracula Rises from the Grave many moons ago.
Nice.
Scott McDonald, who we talked about Star Crash a minute ago, and then all the co-hosts of the show, Jeffrey, Simon, and of course Nafa.
Wherever he is.
Wherever he is, just a huge thank you. Margie, I always want to mention Margie because she was one of the very first friends of the show.
That's right. An enabler.
Never did find those dragons, but maybe she's had more luck now.
Yep.
And of course, Leetta and Elizabeth, because they indulge us.
The podcast widows, yep.
That's right. So it's 11 years. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, dude. Other shows have they're on episode 1206 by now.
Yeah.
But
that's how we still are on.
We are about quantity, not quality, and that's always been our thing.
Yeah. If you told me 11 years ago, 11 years you'll get to 250, I'd have been like,
what happened?
And of course, you've been on every single show. I did not want to do this for episode 250, and then I got to thinking, hey, asshole, you come around and do as you please, and Richard makes this show.
Well,
stop being a dumbass.
In your defense, I was like, Leetta, I think I feel bad for picking this for episode 250, and she went, wait, this what we just watched? I was like, yeah, dude, I love this one. She's like, okay. I'm like, oh, and she's like, no, it's okay, you like it, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
I like it. I did not put on any false pretenses.
It was so funny.
At all. I'm going to have to tell Elizabeth that. That's funny. Wait, what? What we just watched?
That I always want to quote her because Leetta, one of my favorite movies the last frickin' 4 or 5 years was Lose from 2018, and we watched Lose, and I was so excited to show it to her, and I was watching her watch it. I was all bouncing up and down in my freaking chair, and when it was over, I was like, well, and she goes, is that it?
Oh no.
Best 3-word freaking review ever, dude.
Amazing.
Is that it?
No, I am such a huge fan of Leetta. I'm not a friend of the show. I am a fan of Leetta.
Dude. She's going to be back. We got some episodes planned. I've been trying to make it so that she and I can record together easier, because it was just sitting around this microphone and setting it on the multi-directional setting, and it's not good. But I tested the thing with Sam, so I have a much better way to record us. I actually give each of us our own microphone.
Gotcha.
And that turned out spectacularly well with Sam, because I think that episode with Sam sounds incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, so we're gonna do it up, get Leetta back. But man, thank you. You started this stuff. You were like, hey man, let's do a podcast. I said, no. No, I don't. I
wish you'd stuck with it.
I don't remember. I guess I started this bullshit, but no, dude, you've always been there. Even when you weren't on the show, you were the freaking inspiration behind this whole thing. And
well, I appreciate that.
I always tell everybody if Brad ever leaves the show or leaves the planet or frickin' runs away with the circus, I'm not gonna call it "Hello, this is the Doom Show" anymore, because it wouldn't seem the same without you.
Oh, it just I appreciate that so much, and I'll tell you how much this has meant to my family. I texted my dad recording episode number 250, and he said, "Of what?" And I said, "Our podcast, Hello, this is the Doom Show." And he texted back, "Sure. Too much going on here to have made that connection." I said, "No worries."
And you're like, all right, what's going on? And then when he tells you this long answer of what's happening at the house, just text back a bunch of Z's.
Yeah.
Like you're snoring.
Yeah. Amy Green and her husband Dan, they used to listen. I don't know if they still do. NashyCast for being the inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
I've always thought it was funny where I said I typed Paul Nashi into iTunes and they came up as a podcast, and then they're from the Nashville area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only about an hour north of them. They're a big reason why this inspiration to do this.
Yeah, dude. They're still going strong, too.
Yeah, just the solid podcast.
Rod's doing the Bloody Pit.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember if frickin' Troy's still on with him.
The only movie podcast that I listen to is David and Sherry's The Movie Clinic.
Yeah.
I listen to podcasts on, I like Astonishing Legends.
Yeah.
And I listen to a football podcast, college football. But otherwise, I listen to Hello, This is the Doom Show, the episode of your favorite slashers of the day. And I just got the biggest kick out of it. I need to listen to more of you and Simon together.
Of course.
Jeffrey, I never talked to Jeffrey. We used to message a little bit about books.
Yeah.
I understand that he is stupid busy.
He's crazy busy.
I try not to bother him. Yeah.
No, I'm real bad about movie podcasts too. I'm on an Unspooled kick. I like Unspooled. I'm still waiting for Hollywood Gauntlet to come back. They've only been gone for 7 years.
Yeah,
I should probably.
That was after the saloon went down.
Yeah, I should probably give up waiting on them.
Well, do you really think the Raiders of the Lost Ark table read probably set them under?
No, they did ones after that, I think.
Well, I mean, but do you think that was the start of the downfall?
Hey, they put a lot of work into something I found unlistenable.
Right.
Good for them. And I listened to their 6-hour podcast on the Godfather movies 4 or 5 times. Just to give you an idea of what my job is like, I can listen to shows while doing mind-numbing work. So I have listened to a 6-hour podcast 4 or 5 times.
Man, I enjoyed that one.
Folks, if you haven't checked it out yet, speaking of Jeffrey, you need to hear Super Chillers.
Super Chillers? What's that?
Super Chillers is Jeffrey and his pal Katie doing episodes about young adult horror fiction books. And
Super Chillers.
You can read the book beforehand or not. They go through the whole thing, and so if you don't plan on reading it, just freaking check it out. They have a great chemistry, and it's just a super, super professional, fun show. I am blown away by the quality of that show. It's really, really, really good.
I am subscribed through Podcast Addict.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking, and they did Silent Stalker by RTC.
Yeah.
Missing by R.L. Stein. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know any of the books they're talking about.
No, so far I don't either.
But they're so fun, and it's just good stuff. Yeah, can't recommend that enough. And of course, yeah, like Brad said, Movie Clinic with David and Sherry. You got to listen to Movie Clinic.
Oh yeah.
They're such a freaking fun couple. I am
boy, they are.
And they have opinions that are just like sometimes Sherry goes off the rails for me, but it's never like I'm mad at her or anything. She just has a different opinion.
Right.
And David's like the best guy in the world.
Yeah, he's so chill, and they've got chemistry. And like I said last week on the Iguana with the Tongue of Fire show, their Halloween Kills bonus was a lot of fun.
Nice.
I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Good kids, those two.
Folks, we did it. We made it to the end of this long episode.
Yeah, we did.
Gorgon is yawning. And if you don't have a cat who has no teeth, you don't know how hilariously cute and ugly a cat is when they yawn that has no teeth. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
I have a cat with no teeth and a dog with no teeth.
you got a cat with one totally black pupil eye like David Bowie.
Yeah.
And her tongue sticks out all the time, just like David Bowie.
Yep. And Winnie's tongue sticks out all the time, and she gums everything.
Did their tongues ever touch? Did they ever like bump tongues?
No, they don't. They don't get close to each other.
Oh, bless their hearts.
I think both the cats marvel at Winnie just being in the cage.
They're like, how old is that little guy over there?
Yeah, it's crazy. She will be Winnie this month, March, will be 17.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
She was the runt of the litter, and I bet money, we'll never know, but I bet money she's the only one still living.
Dude, 17 years young. I love it.
Man, she's something else.
Well, Brad, have a wonderful time not recording this, and I'll talk to you in the future.
Yes, as I will be talked to in the future as well.
And goodbye to the listeners for now.
Just for now, TTFN.
Yes, LMAO. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, This is the Doom Show is a proud member of the Legion Podcast Network. Please check out the other podcasts on legionpodcasts.com. If you'd like more Hello, This is the Doom Show, go to hellodoomshow.podomatic.com or go to doomedmoviethon.com for the archives. If that's still not enough, go to @doomedmoviethon on Twitter. You can write in to Hello, This is the Doom Show. Use the email doomedmoviethon@gmail.com. Doom Show episodes are available on record and 8-track cassette.